So, of course, you work with what you got. And right now I got time. I got time in me pocket. I got pocket in me time. And I also don't feel like leaving the house already. So I'm warming up, so to speak. And also there's still, I wanted to do 177 videos, so I have to keep going. I can't just rest all the time. I can't take it easy yet, because there's still a lot of videos I have to record. And I also still want to do, introduce change. But also considering that my videos sometimes get a bit longer and longer, which I like, for sure. But, of course I don't want to get past the camera only does half-hour videos, which is good. I don't have to always reach that. Anyway, this story was quite interesting because I was staying with that friend and we were both working for Teleperformance. And so I could sleep in this spare room that he had. Don't quite remember. Anyway, it was quite weird in general. But so he gave me his key because he left for an earlier shift. And so I was alone in the house, and sometimes I did things I'm not really proud of, and that just brings that memory back. For instance, sometimes I would walk around in people's houses and just look at the stuff they were hiding. And how do you deal with stuff like this? Because it's kind of dishonest behavior, and I stopped doing that. But the temptation to dig for other people's shit is often there. And once I was living somewhere else, and there was also a girl living there, and while she was gone, I went into her room and I looked for things, and I found a dildo. And I think some Kama Sutra book. And I didn't know, it just excited me in general. And that's how I often felt it's kind of it's a thrill to dig in people's stuff and to find out stuff about them. But it's still dishonest in a way. But now I feel like I'm sometimes doing this by just observing them. So I don't even have to look into their dirty closets anymore because, it's showing already what they're hiding. But in a way, I always thought, what is wrong with me? Why do I do that? And maybe it was just in my nature to look for the shit that people are hiding. Because I also never really told anyone about this. So is it my dark side? But like I said, I stopped doing this because I started paying less attention, because that may be also a reason that we look for other people's shit. Why do people always want to hear about celebrities' newest drama? So they don't have to look the drama in their own lives. And so I was often looking for other people's shit, but I was never looking at my shit. I just always thought, I had it figured out. Everything I did was right. But that's just, it wasn't like that. I was hiding a lot of shit in myself. And I always looked the other way. And, some people like to eavesdrop, to listen in on other people's conversations, and it's very tempting to do so. But you actually don't know if what you're hearing is what they're saying. I've had it once that I overheard a conversation and I just heard what I wanted to hear. while what they were talking about was something completely different, and that just showed me that sometimes we want to hear something. And then of course you can also bring this into kind of another direction. If you want to talk about this more in spiritual terms, then you can say, like, sometimes you can actually see, like somebody once said, oh, there was like a flea on your ear, and he took it away, and that was during, I believe, an ayahuasca ceremony, so people are more adapt to picking up like things that you see with your third eye, things that you usually don't see with your normal day-to-day consciousness. And he saw a flea in my ear. Well, there was no flea, at least not the one that you would think, like the one that sits on a dog or something. No, it was more like some kind of form of energy or entity. And these things come, so if you don't clean your ears properly, like with water, sometimes, like wash them out, they get stuff stuck. And also it depends on also the things that you listen to. And then things come and they go into your ear, and it's more on your astral body. So with your physical consciousness, you cannot see this. So you can only see it if you train to see with your third eye. And then you don't see things by directly looking at them. It's more like you see their presence by indirectly. It's like you're watching animals. This is how you can see these things. You can more see it from the side of your eye, or like if you try to look at it with these eyes, you won't see the things. So there's a training to it. And I still believe in the book, His Dark Materials from Philip Pullman, it's described quite nicely how Lyra is reading the golden compass, the alethiometer, which is the truth teller. And that's basically your inner compass in your third eye. Like, I mean, you have that, you don't need to have the thing that she has. You can just find truth by looking for it within yourself. You don't need this compass, because you have it inside of you. It's your heart, it's your intuition, and then you use your third eye to scan. That's what I sometimes do. I just sit around and I do this. And then I'm not focused on looking at like this. I'm kind of looking into the distance, and I'm searching with my mind on my third eye for truth. Truth that I feel inside of me and that needs to come out to the surface, so I can have an insight and understand the world around me better and unmask all the lies that I'm still seeing, which makes my eyesight blurry. So getting rid of my glasses was one step for me closer towards truth. The lie that I need glasses to see better keeps me trapped, because it actually makes my eyes worse, because it makes them lazy. It's the same like a car. You think your car helps you get to work, but it also makes you lazy. You think it makes your life easier, but it just creates more time where you just sit around like a walrus doing nothing. Right? So instead, you could just walk or take the bicycle, and while you're doing this, you're moving your body, you're exercising. Carry a backpack which weighs 10 kilos. When I was studying, at first I also, I always used to buy water from the supermarket, and I was cycling, and I had a backpack full with stuff, and then I had 2 9-liter packages, so 6 times 1.5 liters of water, and that times 2, strapped, one bag over my right shoulder and one over the left, and that's how I was cycling. So I like to go shopping on foot, and even if it takes me half an hour to walk there, and then I just take a backpack. And then I carry the stuff. I don't use a car, because it takes more time, it's the extra exercise. And yes, and that's why taking the stairs is actually good, because it also, you know, it's a bit extra effort. Sometimes I don't do it, but sometimes I go the extra length and take the stairs. It's like, don't take the elevator always. Like, maybe every second day you just take the stairs, or maybe every day. And try reaching the 12th floor then or something. It's not very pleasant. So anyway, you can actually have things sitting in your ear that change the stuff that you hear. And now if you tell that to normal people, like ignorant people, who think that voting will actually change something, no, changing changes something. Voting changes nothing, because the system stays the same. So if you vote, you change nothing. What you have to do is you have to take action. And voting is just another one of these things where you just sit on your fat ass and you just vote so that somebody else can do what you should be doing, which is change. And to expect a system that's ruled by money to change on its own accord is just ridiculous. Because the people in power, they don't change. They just want power. And you give it to them. Because you gave away your self-responsibility, and that's just the first step to being a slave. By submitting to the person enslaving you and abiding by their rules and paying tax and doing all these things and just making the person that enslaves you richer. Oh, it's just for my own good, you know, because otherwise, you know, there would be anarchy. And yeah, so isn't that the form of freedom? You know, why do people always think that anarchy would mean total, like, warfare? I mean, that's what we're having right now. Maybe not in front of our doors, but I don't see free people here either. So I'd rather live in an anarchistic system. But then, of course, we have to have people that just still make sure that, you know, we don't harm each other. And that's why you need people to guide a society and not to, like, force it in a certain direction, but to guide it. Like a child, you walk with it. You don't always say, don't go there, don't go there. No, you walk with it. And maybe sometimes the child falls, and then you see if it can get up by itself, and if it can't, you help it. And if it lays there crying, you say, hey, come on, it wasn't that bad. You can get up on your own, I believe in you. And then the child will realize, oh, it was actually not that bad. But when it falls and it cries, and the parents always run to it, and first thing, like, pick it up, then the child learns, oh, you know, if I fall and I cry, somebody comes to and gives me attention. And that's already the first step to raising a child that's depending on their parents to get up. And that's just a metaphor for getting up on your own in life. Like, I need to really learn, I needed to learn to get up on my own. But for that, I first needed to crash. And I picked myself up and I said, no, I want to be a man.